You're welcome back to the news right here and our conversation talking tonight about soldiers who've been sentenced for selling arms to the terrorists. Well, the special court-martial of the Nigerian army in Maiduguri, Borno State, has sentenced 3 soldiers to life imprisonment and a 4th one to 15 years for illegally selling arms in collaboration with police officers and, of course, terrorist groups. Now, the trial was presided over by Brigadier General Ugochukwu, the acting general officer commanding 7th Division and commander of Sector 1, Operation Hadinkai. Delivering the judgment, Brigadier General Mohammed Abdullahi, president of the court-martial, found Sergeant Raphael Ame, Sergeant Ejima Musa, and Lance Corporal Patrick Ocheje guilty and sentenced them to life imprisonment. The soldiers were convicted of multiple offenses, including theft, unlawful dealing in ammunition, and aiding the enemy, all punishable under the Armed Forces Act. Sergeant Raphael Ame, who served as an armorer at the 7th Division garrison, was found guilty of conspiring with a deceased colleague to steal ammunition from the division's armory. And he reportedly collaborated with police officers to conceal the weapons in bags of beans and smuggle them to Enugu and Ebonyi states, where they supplied them to criminals. Sergeant Musa, who served as the armorer of the 195 Battalion, was found to have conspired with Lance Corporal Ocheje and several police officers to sell an AK-47 rifle and large quantities of ammunition, according to this report. And the financial records indicated that Musa received over 500,000 naira from these transactions before he was arrested while attempting to sell additional rounds. Of course, to join us now and talk about this is Barrister Chidi Ujoatumba, human rights lawyer. Good evening, Barrister. Welcome.
Good evening, Amazing Grace, and thanks for having me once again.
With this exposed, and of course the many more that are not exposed, that the media isn't even aware of, I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but is it really true, or can we really say that we're anywhere close to the end of insurgency in Nigeria?
The report that we got today is a welcome development. I encourage the military for taking up that bold step to court-martial those who were, after investigation were found guilty, and also to, sentence them accordingly. It will go a long way to serve as a deterrent to those who are currently indulging in such acts and those who would intend to do such in the future. But the question is it enough? The complaint that the Nigerian population, fired against the military in almost so many divisions in the southeast here, concerning their conduct during the, when kidnapping were in high peak, were they all investigated? Is that really enough? There's a lot of arms in the hands of bandits. There's a lot of proliferation of arms in Nigeria. To what extent will they go to, tackle these menacing challenges? So this one single case, to my own understanding, is not enough to say that we are coming to the end of banditry or criminality or terrorism in Nigeria. It's not enough. There are millions and thousands of AK-47 and ammunitions out there in the hands of criminals, in the hands of kidnappers, and also in the hands of so many terrorists. So I encourage the military and the government to continue working together to see how they can set up networks to go out there, arrest them, and recover these arms. Because once arms are in the hands of criminals, you cannot say the actual time that terrorism and banditry will come to an end. It's a welcome development, but it's not enough in my own assessment and judgment. It's not yet enough.
Very sad indeed, because so much more For this one particular story, there's so much more, but it is, however, really, really sad that the people who should watch over Nigerians, because if we look at the story critically, it has fingered the police, according to this report also. And of course, the police is like the first tier of security that should protect lives and property. But these people conniving together with the army to sell the weapons, and for such amount of money, 500,000 naira, according to this report. Well, you've said that this is not enough. What
It's not
other
enough.
punishment do you think that could have been given to this, apart from the court martialing, of course, the life imprisonment? And we know how these things work in Nigeria. How are we so sure that these people, through the back door, will not be released someday?
Well, because of the regimented and strict nature of the military and the way they go about with their discipline, one will expect that the punishment handed over, because it's like a conventional court. It's like their verdict stands. Okay, inside there they have judges, they have lawyers, they have their own senior military officers that preside over, court martial and all the rest of them. So it's a valid hearing, and I expect the culprit to be, like, they've been sentenced accordingly, to serve those sentences.
Right.
Alphabet. Now, when you consider the amount of money that was said that these ammunitions were sold, your heart will now go out to the families, who have lost their dear ones simply because of 500,000 naira. Destinies have been wasted, life have been lost, communities have been chased away from their farms, houses have been burned down, because once terrorists have a gun and a live ammunition in their hand, there is no extent to which they can stop in vetting mayhem in the life of innocent citizens of this country. And again, should this corporal punishment stop at that level, I am also looking at them to go up a little bit to higher senior officers who failed in their duty to carry out an oversight responsibility over these ammunitions, and to the extent that a lot of them were carried out. And also the names of the police officers who were accomplices in this criminality, they were not given out. Their names have not been given out, and I expect the media to probe further to see whether the police department, or rather the conventional courts, actually prosecuted these police officers. We must continue the investigation, and we must make sure that all hands are on deck to ensure that anyone who crosses this line is being brought to book. That's the only thing that we can do to ensure that the ones that are at hand, that are properly investigated, and everyone who is found wanting, it's being the strong arm of the law will definitely catch up with that person. The investigation is not enough. To my own assessment and understanding, is not yet enough. They have not provided the names of those police officers. We don't know what happened to them. They might still be serving in their own duty as police officers and be collecting salary, taxpayers' money at the end of the day. Meanwhile, they are named in a criminal activity where people have been sentenced to life imprisonment. So I don't think it's enough. There are also other senior military officers who have failed in their duty to carry out an oversight responsibility over the officers that were found wanting. Who are their names? In what department did this kind of criminality occur? And who failed in their duty to carry out their oversight plan? We should name them, and we should bring them to book. We should suspend them, or if possible, sentence them accordingly. That's my own contribution to that, because what we have heard is not enough. A lot needs to be done. Yeah.
Right. We quite agree with you that more should be done and more people would be apprehended, because, of course, the ghosts didn't give these weapons out to these terrorists. Human beings did.
Yes.
And if it has to take the army to purge themselves from top to bottom to get these people, whether they be high-ranking officers or even the ones who are just not so high-ranking, but I think that security
wonder where
purge themselves.
And how the purge will start, because we will arrest Boko Haram and bandits And the moment they say that they have repented, they will be trained or probably equipped with taxpayers' money, and they will be drafted into the Nigerian military. They will be drafted back into the law enforcement. So I wonder where and how this purge will start. Meanwhile, millions of Nigerians who are jobless, roaming around the street of this country, and meanwhile, bandits and ex terrorists are being redrafted into the military simply because they say that they have repented. How long shall we continue in doing this? And if we are continuing in doing this, how are we sure that the military will be able to purge itself when we are redrafting and incorporating militants and terrorists into the Nigerian army and law enforcement? So it's quite a sad story, Amazing Grace. It's a
Right.
sad story.
Right. We'll have to leave the conversation there, but thank you so much for joining in tonight, and we appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
That's all we have for you tonight on Afia TV News. Do stay with us on all our social media platforms at Afia TV Official. And on behalf of the entire production team, I am Amazing Grace Ajayi. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.